The end of the world is coming. Sometime in the future, maybe next week, maybe not, but most likely millions of years from now. The truth is, neither you nor I know for sure when, but we can all agree that at some point in the future, the entire world will descend into chaos. This is not just the law of averages, it's common sense. But if it does happen in your lifetime, are you prepared to be ready to survive? Don't you want to be right in front so all the worst is behind you, right in front so you will be able to see what is up ahead. Right in front is where you want to be, because the alternative is to be left behind.
Hello, open up please, it's the police.
Hello? Hello?
Thank God you're here. He's missing. And he was here, and then he was gone. It happened in the bedroom. He just appeared just like that.
Okay, miss, calm down,
I need to report a missing person report or something.
We just need to ask you a few questions first.
Yeah, first, tell us everything you remember.
Well, he was here last night. We got in late, and decided to go right to bed. And then we had relations, and then he went to sleep. Mm-hmm. I took some Slumberex pills because I have a hard time sleeping, mm-hmm. and then we went to sleep. I was out cold, and then when I woke up this morning, he was gone, just vanished.
Right, he vanished, you say.
Vanished. He's a missing person, I tell you.
Well, Nis...
I've heard about this kind of thing on the TV church shows. It's called the Rapture.
The Rapture.
Yeah, do you know the Rapture?
Mm-hmm.
He was raptured, I tell you. God took him. All those who are right with Jesus are taken up into heaven all at once.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the Rapture. So was he religious?
What? Why?
Well, it's kind of a prerequisite for getting raptured. You know, being religious.
Oh, well, we can talk about that last night. It wasn't that kind of a night.
Well, is it possible he just got up early and went to work normal people?
I don't know.
Look, we can't assume someone's missing just because they weren't here when you get up.
Okay, let's start over. What's his name?
Chad.
Uh-huh. And, last name?
Brad?
Chad Brad?
No, I think his first name was actually Brad. I don't know his last name.
And how long have you known Chad or Brad?
Well, we met last night, but that doesn't mean what we had wasn't special. And now he's been raptured, and you need to do something about it.
Like what?
I don't know. Talk to a priest. You're the cops.
How much Slumberex did you take last night? Just curious.
Look, this is not the Rapture. I mean, people go missing all the time in this town. It's a big city.
Yeah, so statistically, this year is on par with the amount of missing persons at the same time last year.
Actually, it's lower than last year.
So really nothing different.
So you're telling me this isn't the Rapture?
No, sorry, not the Rapture.
Oh. So what you're saying is it's like a slow rapture, like a time release thing.
No, there's no such thing as a slow rapture, miss. You're confused. He's just gone.
Look, miss...
my name is Brooke, B-R-U-C.
Brooke. I think what's happening here is you have confused the Rapture with what professionals like us call a hit-it-and-quit-it situation.
What?
One night stand.
A one-night stand? So all that sex was for nothing?
I'm afraid so, yes.
But he'll probably call me, right? I mean, he said he would call me.
I really couldn't say, ma'am. That's just really not something I have insight into.
Oh.
But maybe if you go back to the same club you were at last night, you might find him there again. All right? Call us if you need anything else.
Good day. What a wacko.
Well, the rumors are true. Ambassador Seculorus has graciously accepted the title of President of the newly formed World Leadership Oversight Committee. The new president brushed aside accusations that the committee is a glorified dictatorship.
Of course it's not a dictatorship. It's a committee. And that means a group of people making decisions together. A group of people made up of international leaders. But someone has to lead the leaders and decide when the committee comes to the right decision. Someone needs to hold the world's leaders accountable for following through. Reward right-thinking leaders and help the rest see the wisdom of rationally arrived at decisions. Decisions the whole world will benefit from. I'm simply here to be the voice of rational thought for the global community.
In other news, world leaders are concerned that the whooping cough epidemic that started in a Parisian brothel is quickly spreading throughout Europe. Experts predict it may reach pandemic levels within days.
And so it unfolds. The great slumber approaches. Soon the flame of slumber will bring endless night to the world.
And this just in. Astronomers have detected what appears to be a comet on a trajectory towards Earth. It is uncertain if the comet will land somewhere on Earth that concerns us, or inconveniences us, or just distracts us for a while.
The prophecy I have just made up to fit my overall narrative shall be fulfilled, retroactively after it happens. When ruled by one guy, when lungs become dry, when darkens the sky, the slumber will take all of us, you and I.
Wow, Ambassador Seculorus. That's pretty good. Did you just improvise that?
Oh, I experimented with freestyle rap back in the day, but they told me my rhymes were whack. Me? Whack? They crushed my dreams. I dropped out of Metroville Community College, and I just started walking. Eventually, I found myself on the outskirts of Haventown, at the foot of an ominous cave. There I heard a voice from inside beckon me.
What did it say?
Sleeper, enter that you may learn to slumber. It was in that cave that Master Seculor first appeared to me. He told me of my purpose to usher in the Great Rationalization.
The slumber runs deep.
Long must we slumber.
As news spreads of the new president's plans for world rationalization, some react with jubilation, others with trepidation. That means they were suspicious. One such group lives on the once vibrant compound of Dawn of the Anointed Awakening. There, they await the return of Dr.π, the living avatar of common sense. Even now, a family gathers around their television, watching the events of the world unfold before them.
In his first official act as President of World Leaders, Mr. Seculorus has set a mandated meeting in the form of a committee to discuss the impending impact of the comet. The Committee of United National Thinking Summits is scheduled to meet tomorrow and hopes to form a comet
Turn it
task
off.
force
I
soon.
can't watch anymore. I'm sick of committees. I'm sick of President Seculorus. The whole world is turned upside down.
Well, that's it then. Seculor has won. Ambassador Seculorus has been given the power he needs to bring about the Great Rationalization.
Mummy, what is the Great Rationalization?
Dr.π warned us of a time when the followers of common sense like us will be driven underground.
Yes, overcome by Seculor and his agents of the secular slumber.
In those times, rational thinking would take over and the world would abandon common sense.
Without common sense to guide us, the world leaders would rationalize all sorts of acts that make no sense.
It would be chaos. Society would be destroyed.
Well, what about Dr.π, the speaker of the word? Isn't he the avatar of common sense? Can't he just speak from the source of the word and fix things?
Well, yes, he could. But Dr.π hasn't been seen for months.
We still await his return.
His assistant, Mr. K, keeper of the word, keeps vigil in the Forest of Awakening where Dr.π first received the glorious message of common sense.
That's when he met the mystical talking squirrel for the first time. It's just like my stuffed toy.
That's right, dear. The revealer of the word.
As seekers of the word, son, we believe that Dr.π will return. And common sense says he will most likely return to that spot.
Is it a prophecy?
No, dear. Prophecies aren't real. It's just a very good guess. A guess based on that being the path he left the compound on.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes the most sense for him to come back that way.
But who this Ambassador Seculorus? And why is he now president of the world? Is he actually Seculor the Slumberer, the evil entity from my bedtime stories?
No, not exactly. It's a little hard to explain, but basically he is the opposite of Dr. Pi.
The opposite?
You know how the revealer of the word gave the source of the word to Dr. Pi and sent him on a mission to save the world through common sense?
Yeah?
Well, just like Dr. Pi, Seculorus was once an average, unawakened man who wandered, lost in the secular slumber, only he met an evil being instead, who spoke of the power of rational thinking.
Boo!
Then, to show his allegiance to his corrupt new master, he took the name Ex Seculoris.
Why doesn't Dr. Pi come back to do something?
Yes, dear. Why doesn't Dr. Pi come back?
Well, it's complicated.
It's always complicated with Dr. Pi, isn't it? Sometimes I think we'd just be better off following the tide.
You don't mean that.
Oh, don't I? Look how well the people who follow rational thinking are doing.
It's a lie.
Is it a lie? It seems to me they're living a whole lot better than we are in Dr. Pi's underground bunker because we're afraid the authorities will find us.
People just need to awaken to the glorious power of common sense.
No, you need to awaken. Awaken to the fact that Dr. Pi is not coming back.
He is coming back.
No, he's not. If you know why, because he's a fraud.
Both of you stop fighting! You're making the revealer of the word cry!
You mean that stupid little squirrel doll with the halo over its head? Well, he's a fraud as well. He's just a squirrel.
You shouldn't talk like that about the revealer of the word, Money. You should apologize.
You hit me. Your own mother.
He was just trying to bring you back to your senses, back to your common senses. Here, have some coffee. It will clear your mind and calm you down.
I don't want coffee. I want this madness to end.
Come on, Georgie. Quietly gather a few things. We're leaving.
Well, what about Money?
We need to leave her behind.
We can't just abandon her.
I know it's hard, but she chose to abandon us when she took up the ways of rational thought and became a slave to Seculor the Slumberer.
You mean she's an agent of the secular slumber now?
I'm afraid so, Georgie. But we need to stay right with common sense, right with the source of the word. We need to find Dr. Pi so that we can be right in front.
And just like that, another family is divided over the tidal wave of thought that is the Great Rationalization. As the debate reaches people from all walks of life around the world, the wisdom of common sense is challenged and increasingly defeated.
Look, all I'm saying is you need to get right with things.
You mean right with God?
I didn't say that. You said that. And if that's what makes sense to you, I accept that.
Well, all I'm saying is, if that woman were thinking rationally, she would have known that
Brad.
Whatever. She'd know that Brad wasn't raptured. He just, like we said, hit it and quit it.
See, I would argue that because she was trapped in the secular slumber, she rationalized that he was raptured because her evangelical beliefs were twisted by rational thought. I mean, common sense would have told her it was going to be a one-night stand before she even brought him home.
Oh, so you're one of those.
A what?
A common sensor. My own partner, a fucking 314. How long have you been keeping this secret from me? Years, I bet.
It's not a secret. It just never came up.
So, how deep are you into this? Do you believe in that awaken the dawn of the anointed shit?
It shouldn't matter, but I've been studying the source of the word for some time now. It has some interesting points.
It's just an empty book put out by a cult leader. You've got to know that.
Yes, the pages are blank physically, but the words are there if the seeker knows how to see them.
Well, now you sound like one of those over-caffeinated coffee junkies we arrested last night. Are you using too much?
Too much of what?
The bean juice. Are you tapping the bean too much? Coffee abuse can mess with your head, my friend. It's just like booze. You gotta be responsible. Sure, it starts with a 2-cup-a-day habit. Next thing you know, you're in the alley, selling yourself for espresso shots.
Coffee is part of my faith. We drink it to achieve a literal awakening.
Well, you best keep that common sense bullshit to yourself. You should have the decency to be ashamed of your religion.
What?
Times are changing, my friend. Your beliefs are not popular, especially in our line of
So
work.
you want me to renounce my religion? Is that it?
You are not following a religion. You are in a cult. And that Dr.π, he is gonna bring you nothing but misery.
Oh, so now you think Dr. Pi is the cult leader. I'll tell you who the real cult leader is, President Seculorus.
Hey, you watch your mouth! Talking like that is treason these days. President Seculorus has done nothing but fix things since he took over.
See, you said it. Took over. That's a dictatorship, my friend. That's a cult.
Look, shift's over. Let's just head back to headquarters before we both say something we're going to regret. There. Now what would your Dr.π say we should do? The car won't start.
He'd probably say the sensible thing to do is check the engine.
Well, now is his chance to impress me. Go check the engine, wise one.
Fine. It's probably something simple. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Hey, this is, Slumber Agent Lawson. Yeah, I've got a 314 situation here. Yeah, well, see, that's the problem. This time it's my partner. How should I proceed? Yeah, I understand. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. You'll need to send a cleanup crew to my location immediately.
There doesn't seem to be anything wrong. Try the engine again. See? There! It's fine! Okay, I get the point! Let me in! Cut it out, Lawson! It's not funny! Ah!
Long may you slumber, my friend. Long may you slumber.
Tonight, authorities are blaming a group of common-sense radicals called the Circle of the Seventh Sense for an attack on a local police officer in a downtown parking lot. The officer had stepped out of his vehicle to investigate engine trouble when the attack happened. We were able to reach his partner, Officer Lawson, for a statement.
Well, it was horrible. Out of nowhere, they just ran over him several times while yelling these anti-rational thought slogans. I'm telling you, these common sense fanatics are dangerous, and I can't wait for President Seculorus to do something about them.
The officer is listed as critical with very little hope for survival. In international news, scientists are saying the whooping cough pandemic has now mutated into a new strain. It is now capable of infecting coffee beans. The new variant results in a toxic drink known as whooping coffee. Financial experts are concerned about the effect this will have on the world's economy, as a shortage is expected to cause unprecedented inflation in coffee prices.
These economists need to relax. People will simply adapt to a low-caffeine option to drink instead of coffee. There are other options: chamomile tea, warm milk, cough medicine.
What was that last one?
Warm milk. And if you are still experiencing anxiety over this, the Seculorus government has offered to subsidize free SlumberX for all of the world's population while we all transition from a coffee-based culture.
And in a related story, the war on common sense is entering a new phase, as a coffee shortage will seriously limit the ability of believers to practice a core tenet of their faith.
Without coffee, well, it becomes harder to awaken. And if we can't awaken, it's harder to be sensible and practice our faith. It's just that simple. I just wish Dr.π was here to help guide us through this horrible beam blight. Where are you, Dr.π?
We have attempted to contact Dr.π for his comments, but he has been missing since the onset of the Great Rationalization. Experts suspect either foul play or simple cowardice, as Dr.π is expected to soon be branded a war criminal and an enemy of the new rational order.
Elsewhere, in Haventown, the crucible of common sense, Dr.π's followers, as well as average citizens, deal with the repercussions of a world gone rational.
Good afternoon and welcome to Awakened Coffee. What can I get for you today?
Yes, I'll have the house blend, please. And a piece of acorn pie.
Yeah.
And, oh my.
What?
Is this a joke?
What?
The prices. They're like doubled from yesterday.
I know. Haven't you heard? A whooping coffee pandemic has tainted most of the world's coffee bean supply.
But this place is owned by Dawn of the Anointed Awakening, isn't it? I thought you guys, grew your own coffee beans on that compound you live on.
We did. But there was a mysterious fire last week. It started in our coffee bean grow-up. Then it spread through the whole property. Dr.P's home, all of our homes were destroyed.
A fire? Do you know how it started?
Oh, we know. We just can't prove it. But we know it was sabotage. So now we've had to source our coffee beans from anywhere we can. But I assure you, the beans have been tested and they are safe.
Yeah, well, look, I'm sorry, but I just can't afford that much for coffee. I'll just have the acorn pie, and to drink I'll have chamomile tea instead of coffee.
Did I hear someone say chamomile tea? Oh, I can't in good conscience allow you to pair our tasty acorn pie with chamomile tea.
But...
It's okay, Colleen. Her coffee is on us today. That is if you don't mind, Miss...
Brooke? And thanks. That's very kind of you.
Whatever you say, Franklin. I'll have it ready for you in a few minutes.
So, do you make it a habit of giving out free coffee to strange women who can't afford it?
No, but you seemed like you really need it today.
Hey, you read me like a book.
Well, that's good. Because I also run Source of the Word books next door. For now, at least.
For now?
Well, the whooping coffee pandemic is taking its toll on us. We can't afford to stay open much longer. I'm afraid a week, maybe two at best. It's a matter of time before President Seculorus comes for the bookstore as well.
Why does President Seculorus care about a small-town bookstore?
Oh, you don't know your Haventown history, do you?
No, I just moved here from Metroville.
Seculorus was born here. He grew up here.
What? How do I not know that?
Well, think about it. What does anybody really know about him? He came out of nowhere, and now he's president of the world? Doesn't that seem strange to you?
Well, I guess now that you mention it.
Of course, back then he was a different person, but even then he hated common sense.
You mean he hated this Dr.P that I've heard so much about?
Oh, him most of all, and everything associated with him.
But why?
It's complicated, but...
Miss, here's your coffee and acorn pie.
Oh, well, I should just let you enjoy your coffee.
No, wait, please. Sit.
I would love to. Colleen, you should come join us.
Why not? No one else is coming in the store?
So this Dr.P spells his name with, a weird symbol?
Yes, it's the mathematical symbol for pi.
I always thought
You thought it was spelled like the food, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Is that dumb?
No, it's a simple mistake. In math, the symbol pi is used to represent an endless, irrational number, starting in 3.14.
So he's into teaching math?
No. He's teaching common sense, which is the opposite of rational thought, therefore irrational.
I thought common sense was the same thing as thinking rationally.
Well, it's not.
Dr. Pi teaches us by thinking rationally, you can get lost in the secular slumber. It can lead you to endless confusion as you rationalize endless choices. Or worse, you can talk yourself into wrong choices by rationalizing any action, right or wrong. But common sense cuts through all that and helps you choose the right path.
That sounds complicated.
I used to think so too, until I read the source of the word, and I was awakened.
Yeah, see, I'm not a good reader. My teachers always said I was... What's the word?
Dyslexic?
No.
Illiterate?
No. Hopeless.
That's the beauty of the source of the word. Anyone can read it. Even someone intellectually disadvantaged like you. Here, take a look. Find your truth.
But the pages are all blank.
Exactly. Therefore, anyone can read it.
But how does this show me my truth?
This book has no words. Therefore, it tells no lies. Therefore, it is the truth.
That makes sense, I guess.
Of course it does.
I don't know. I'm just I'm just so tired.
Brooke, when was the last time you had some coffee? You don't look so good.
A couple days, I think.
Here, drink some more coffee. It will help wake you up. And then we can talk some more.
Yeah, I do feel better already.
That's what's called the literal awakening. And that's why President Seculorus engineered this whole whooping coffee pandemic to keep everyone lost in the slumber and stop them from discovering common sense through the source of the word.
Can you tell me more about this book? The source of the word?
Sure, and then, if you're interested, Franklin and I will tell you about some friends we have that can help you truly understand the power of common sense.
I really think I would like that.
You have been listening to Right in Front, Episode 1, The Great Rationalization. Right in Front is a presentation of Source of the Word Playhouse and was recorded at WAKN Studios on the Dawn of the Anointed Awakening compound. The cast featured Dr.P and Mr. K as themselves and the Haventown Repertory Troupe, performed by Earl-Townsend. The soundtrack was composed by Dr.P and the Awakened and is available on Pi-Tel Records and Tapes. For more information on the glorious message of common sense, visit sourceoftheword.com. Awaken.